No. The answer is no. And if you don't know what I'm talking about a couple issues. One, the Kids Online Protection Act, or KOSA, and two, the censorship and removal of primarily adult content, at least so far, from Steam. Now, what we're seeing isn't new. Throughout the years, groups have attempted to censor the internet many different times over many different issues, and, in fact, censorship has already taken hold over many areas. A form of this censorship is banning streamers from platforms because they said a sort of slur and the platform banned them to please their donors/advertisers. And so here we are again, seeing a new form of censorship being pushed. Two examples are a group called Collective Shout bullying payment processors into disallowing certain adult games/genres from Steam to be sold, and the UK has users unable to see adult content on platforms like Twitter. There are also some reports saying that horror games are also being affected by the censorship, but I don't know to what extent. This is of course bad because we all know that it will not end at adult games or adult content. They will always find something else to ban until effectively nothing is left. This is also bad because it should not be up to payment companies on what media people get to consume. Having said that, I do remain somewhat hopeful, as these bans will likely cause billions of dollars lost to several companies, and companies like these don't like pushback, so enough pushback will make them scared to follow through with these bans, as far as I'm aware, as far as I can think. Also, I can't imagine why this sort of thing would work long term. People will always find a way to get the content that they want, just like prohibition, and just like prohibition, riots and crimes will be expected. In particular, piracy. Which, if you think that piracy is on the rise now, you haven't seen anything if this kind of thing goes through. But I want to come at this from a different angle and pretend like these bans come from actual concerns. What I imagine these concerns to be are: Concern 1, adult/darker themed games are harmful in some way. Concern 2, social media in general can be harmful for impressionable children. And Concern 3, adult content can be harmful and is more prevalent than ever before, the creation of such content skyrocketing amongst young women who are damaging their lives permanently, sometimes as early as the age of 18. Here's the issue with these arguments. While I can't seem to find anything about darker themed games being harmful to people, the negative effects of adult content are roughly the same for both children and adults. However, adults should be allowed to buy whatever they want with their own money so long as it's legal, which adult content is, and children can simply be prevented from buying this content if their parents are vigilant as far as what kind of content they're consuming. Additionally, it shouldn't be on the government nor payment processors to parent someone else's child, short of clear obvious abuse. As for the third concern, the creation and consumption of adult content is a mere symptom of a larger issue, not the source. People are making content in record numbers because they don't want to become slaves to a corporation who they know will mistreat them. And ultimately, across all of human existence, people will choose to do the thing that takes the least effort for the most benefit and most fun. The same goes for the consumption of adult content. People are depressed and lonely and need some sort of outlet, and so they turn to adult things to do and watch. Thing is, these concerns aren't the concerns of those who are trying to ban it. That's just the excuse that they use. In reality, they just don't like it and think that they should have control over what others can and can't do. But there's something else about this Trojan horse argument that they make that I can't stand, and that's the insane hypocrisy of those who actually think these things are a good thing. Because there are verifiably worse things in society, yet I never see anyone target these things to the degree that people target, say, adult content, such as alcohol. Full disclaimer, I don't know the exact statistics on which addiction has a higher rate, as adult content addiction is honestly barely studied in comparison to alcohol addiction, and I'm not even saying that we can't care about two issues at once. However, I can't help but find it so hypocritical that despite knowing alcohol damages your body, mind, and puts both you and everyone around you in danger, I never see these Karens talk about alcohol addiction. And anytime I try to find anything about protesting things like liquor stores and the distribution of alcohol, I can't seem to find much of anything. That's not to say that I want alcohol banned, but you have to wonder why these people want specifically things like adult content banned as if it's this imminent threat that is about to destroy society. Yes, it can and has destroyed the lives of some, and I'm willing to admit that there are more people addicted to adult content than data currently shows. But for how adamantly people go after adult content, one can't help but wonder, is it really that big of an issue? Or is it just that these Karens simply dislike it? And not just dislike it, but dislike it to the point that they are willing to not only push payment processors to disallowing the sales of adult content, but push the world's governments towards requiring ID verification to use basic things like social media, which can and will lead to the censorship of more than just adult content, as we all know it won't stop just there. Personally, I don't see this censorship tactic working long term. That's not to say we don't have possibly some hurdles to get through as a society, but if you know what happened with prohibition in America, which was the banning of alcohol from the year 1920 to 1933, you know that people don't like being told what they can and can't do with their time and money. Additionally, censoring games, social media, and adult content is a guaranteed loss of billions of dollars across God only knows how many companies worldwide. But that's not to say we shouldn't stay informed and do our part in keeping these Karens and payment processors from feeling like they can do whatever they want.